What's good, fam? It is the eve of Valentine's Day. What do you all have planned? We, our household, we typically don't spend a lot, do a lot for Valentine's Day. We make it more of a, now that we have a family, we make it more of a family event and just kind of stay at home, lay low. More, we make it more about the kids, letting them know that they're loved, God loves them. But I don't know. That might be lame to a couple of people. But what do you have planned? Let me know in the comments section what you have planned for Valentine's Day. Whether you single, married, hey, you can love on yourself. Why not? Be God loves you. All right. Let's get into tonight's topics. We got a couple of them for y'all. First, I'm gonna start out with the infamous Nikki and Jello. I yeah, I first of all, let me say I don't understand how he got such a huge R&B deal. I don't know if she had anything to do with it, but man, hats off. He got a great record deal. Yet it seems like once he got this record deal, he made a whole lot of changes in his situations. So it all went down, I think, over the weekend, where Nikki, the mother of his now two children, posted that he left her and the children, indicating that he allegedly has someone else pregnant. No one knew who the girl was at first, but now we do. He has since posted pictures of him, the other woman. The other woman at first said she wasn't going to speak about it, but she has now since made a post indicating that it's not what you guys think it is, that she's not a home wrecker, that insinuating that Nikki does not take care of her children because she's hardly ever around them. And a couple of other things that might, oh, there went my earring, that might indicate that there's more to the story than we realize. And that story is for them to know and not for the public. Totally get it, totally understand. I I don't know. My initial thoughts, and the youngest baby is 2 months old. I'm wondering, was there a better way to handle this situation? And a lot of people surprisingly have some, like, are really upset about this situation, that he left a good woman. A lot of people are saying that she was good for him, that she was about her business. She also is a reality star, is on I don't know if she still is, Love and Hip Hop. Oh, Basketball Wives, I'm sorry. It's Basketball Wives. And she is just this really cool, nice person. The new girlfriend is indicating that she is a racist and that she says the N word all the time. Again, no one can confirm nor deny any of this, but it just sounds as if this was very rushed, There was no thought process. It's just like he just up and left, according to her, because it all started with a lot of people sending Nikki messages that, hey, your boy is out here in the streets playing on you. She's like, no, I know about it. He just up and left us. Do you think that as celebrities, we that they should be held to a higher standard because they are these quote unquote role models or what people see? I think so. I've made this statement time and time again. Yes, that may not be part of your job responsibility as a celebrity because you may have this talent for rapping, or you may have this talent for basketball, or you may have this talent, you know, for business and just become a huge entrepreneur for everyone. When you step onto that platform, you have a duty to represent yourself in a certain way. And I think this was bad business for him, even though he has this huge record deal. Now you got a lot of people that aren't liking him because it appears that it's he's the bad guy. And I don't know, do people have PR folks anymore? Because this just wasn't a good look. Like, this is bad for his brand. Could he have not exited quietly or transitioned into this new relationship if it was that bad? And my main question, is it better for him to be with Nikki and co-parent with her, or get out of the relationship that he apparently deems was not good for him because he left for whatever reason? We may never know the real reason why he left, but he left for a reason. But the young lady just had this baby. The baby's 2 months old. Is there a right time to exit the relationship? Should he have waited till the baby was 6 months old, a year old? I think there's a time and a place for everything. I also think communication is key, because it appears as if Nikki was blindsided by this, that he just abruptly did this. Was there a conversation at all that, hey, I am not in a good place in our relationship. Let's try to work this out. And I think that is a huge problem we have with relationships now. We are in this microwave era where we want everything right now, as soon as possible. How soon can I get it? Fast food, drive through. But life doesn't work like that. Not always. And I think for the sake of the children, for the sake of the mental well being, not only for her, but for him as well, there should have been some sort of exit plan. Many businesses have relationships. And if they want to part ways with this partnership, with whatever sponsorship they may have, they always have an exit plan because it's smart, it's strategic. It leaves the least resistance. There's a plan for everything. I really think this could have been planned differently. Not only for the optics for his brand, for Nikki's brand, but also for their mental health. I mean, Nikki's on Instagram saying she needs prayers because postpartum is something, is being a mother. I know what it's like dealing with postpartum. And yes, it's difficult. And then you put this on top of it. I just think it could have been a better exit strategy. Definitely. We got to do better. We have to show others that relationships aren't always bad. There's always good, there's always bad. But I think we put so much focus on the bad that we are quick to leave these relationships and not work them out. Who's to say that whatever issues he may be experiencing with Nikki, he's not going to experience with this new young lady? There is always something that you could have done in a relationship that could have made it better. And I always say, when you are preparing or when you have broken up with someone, the time after is when you really need to do some self-reflection and look and figure out, what was it that I could have done better? What was it? What was my communication like? Because a lot of times the communication is why. It boils down to the communication. Again, the exit plan didn't exit very well at all. You are now a celebrity. You got to do things differently. I know. Am I wrong? Maybe I'm living old school, but maybe that's the problem. We're not living old school. Let me know. Before we get to our next topic, I want y'all to definitely check out my website, texasbrwnsugar.com. We have Black History merch on sale, up to 40% off. Make sure you check it out. Get yours before the month is over and celebrate who you are. All right. Moving on to the next topic. This has been all over Instagram, TikTok. Texas again has some very interesting laws. It's like the Wild Wild West here in Texas. And one of them, I know a lot of females need to hear this. I'm going to let this young lady, she is a lawyer. Again, the videos that I am showing, I give credit where credit is due. In the bottom of the description, you'll see I've tagged this young lady, Lauren the lawyer, explains some very interesting laws, family laws, particularly in Texas. And this is one of the laws that she says is gonna cause some mouths to drop. It did mine. Let's check it out.
This hurts my heart to deliver this news. I'm not trying to put us on the spot. I'm not. I just know that this is something that we do a little bit more often than the men. Brace yourself, clutch your pearls, grab a tissue for the tears. It is now illegal to go through your husband's phone. And this is for every ear that can hear me. This is not just a Texas issue. This is also a federal crime. The Federal Wiretap Act states it is unlawful to intercept any wire oral or electronic communication. It is also unlawful to disclose the contents of the wire, oral, or electronic communication. Y'all know what's considered electronic communication? Text messages, emails, DMs. And it doesn't matter if you're in a community property state, saying that the phone is community property will not work. Even if your husband willingly gave you his password, it still would not work. The courts feel that even if he did give you the password, you went beyond the scope of what he thought you would reasonably be doing with his phone, such as taking screenshots of a text message that you would eventually use against him in court. I was in court waiting on my turn, watching another hearing before me. It was a divorce case, and the wife was on the stand talking about adultery. Her attorney then started the process of admitting text messages into evidence that showed the husband was talking to this woman, and it was very inappropriate. The text messages 100% proved husband was cheating. There was photos, there was conversations about the other night. All of a sudden, husband lawyer jumps up and says, "Your Honor, I think you need to admonish the witness about her Fifth Amendment right to self-incrimination because she's about to tell on herself and admit to a crime." Then he turns ever so slightly and says, "I think you might want to tell her lawyer as well because they'll both be in jail together." The judge then proceeds to tell her that how she came about getting those text messages out of her husband's phone is potentially a violation of the Texas Wiretap Act and the Federal Wiretap Act. He looks up at her lawyer and says, "Counsel, the fact that you're in possession of unlawful potential wiretap material incriminates you as well." And the judge did a quick recess so everyone could go consult with criminal law attorneys. Somehow you made it to the end of this video without choking. If you are still with us, here's a bonus. Here's an honorable mention. It is also now illegal for you to have air tags on your children if you're in the middle of a custody case. Let me know in the comments which.
Okay, y'all, that was a bit. Yeah, this goes back for me. Uh, Sometimes the court, the government, I think gets into our business just a little bit too much. Now, I was reading some of the comments in this, and a lot of people are like, "Well, I'm going to do it anyway. They can't tell me what to do. I'm paying the bill." Yes, regardless of whether you're paying the bill or not. That is his phone with his security code. That's his. The law says you're not supposed to look at it. I think this is bad business. I really do. I think, and maybe there was no way for them to distinguish being in a relationship, versus not. I mean, there had to be some stipulation they could have had. If you are legally married, this does not apply. I also think that if you're in a healthy relationship, you normally set boundaries. Boundaries because you are you and he is he. And that there needs to be some personal space, some personal boundaries. Whatever that looks like for you and your partner, communicate, work it out. I'm not saying that you shouldn't be allowed to look at his phone or her phone. But what I'm saying is you need to work it out. Whatever works for you. Set some boundaries. If you have to constantly look in the person's phone, I think that's a red flag that you are in an unhealthy relationship, that maybe you need to reevaluate, figure out what's going on. I also think you need to have your own stuff, just like my children. They're not allowed in my bathroom. When I'm in the bathroom, whatever I'm doing, they're not supposed to be in there. Just like I wouldn't expect my spouse to be in the bathroom with me. I think to have a healthy relationship, you need to set boundaries. You need to set personal space. And that looks different for everyone. If you feel like you have to go through their phone, why? Do you not trust that person? If you don't trust the person, why are you with the person? So let's say you're married. Now you have to figure out how to rebuild that trust. It's difficult. It can be done, but you got to communicate and you have to work your way through that. It's not all bad. Do I agree with the law? No. I really don't think any government entity should tell me when and how to manage what goes on in my house. Then I'm wondering, like, how do you prove that the person was cheating? I don't know. I'm sure you can figure out. She got to hire a private eye. I, and I know this is supposed to protect, but sometimes I think we're just going a little too far. Do you think the law is going too far? Do you think that it's necessary to protect ourselves? Do we have the right to go into our spouse's phone, our spouse's email, and then to communicate it? Tell the world? Ooh. So, what does this mean for these celebrities that put their spouse on blast with their text messages on social media? Remember when Princess did that with Ray J? Ooh, this gonna be some problems for a lot of people. I, I don't know. Y'all tell me. But make sure you support Lauren the lawyer. She's over on TikTok. She has some very good tips and information. Make sure you check her out. Moving on. It's Valentine's Day tomorrow. And, I was just talking to my girlfriends about what they were doing. And it just made me think, are relationships, long-term relationships, dead? And as I was thinking about this, I came upon another content creator. Shout out to It's Tay Tay Baby. Her channel she's hilarious. I love her. Out of Vegas. She had this video up and she was reacting to it. And I thought it was a really good video to react to because it makes you wonder, are long-term relationships dead? Listen to what this young lady had to say. And this content creator, In Good Health Jess, is on TikTok. But let's see what she says.
I'm starting to understand why more men are choosing to be single, why women are choosing to be single, and why the dating pool is just treacherous. Okay, for one, you want someone with a certain tax bracket. Pool just got small. You want someone, if you're a woman taller than 5'9", just got even smaller. In your city, oof, pickings, okay? When I think about my household, I'm like, listen, y'all, I hustle and bustle. I make money. I'm not looking to be the main breadwinner in my home. Zero interest, zero. Why? Because God made man's shoulders a lot broader than mine. Okay, I'm not looking to carry that load. And honestly, man, I get it. It's a lot. It's a lot. To care for a family, a lot. I understand. It tickles the feather, this whole 50-50 narrative. I get it. Listen.
Not to mention that was what God created them for. Just saying.
I understand. I understand. It's just easier for men to be hoes and play with women. I get it. I don't get it, but I get it.
Now I put a poll up on YouTube and asked the question: are long-term relationships dead? I don't know. Let me say this quickly. No, they're not dead, but they are dying. It's slow death. Unfortunately, this is why I am so enthusiastic and driven about this platform to educate and to set realistic expectations for long-term relationships, healthy marriages. Less people are getting married. That's just point blank period. Stats show that. Romance people still want. And I know, how do I know that? And it's definitely obvious because of these shows that everyone gets addicted to. What was it? Bridgerton. Everyone loved Bridgerton. That was a huge love story. I believe there was they were having dance off balls in, celebration of Bridgerton. Everyone loved that show. What's the other show? Love is Blind. Bachelor. People get addicted to that show. That lets me know people really are interested in love. They really are interested in romance. They want it. For whatever reason, they haven't found it. They don't want it. But based off of modern relationships, but it's like they crave it because there's so many shows that people get addicted to and can't get enough of, and they're all love related. So people want it. I think the issue, and she called it out, our expectations and standards are higher than grandma's. Point blank period. Because you can't tell me that your standards now or expectations are the same as your grandma's. And it's the stats essentially say so, because if you look at each generation, the percentage of marriages are drastically dropping from the baby boomers to the X-Geners. Is that a word? But it's evident that our standards are higher. Higher good or higher bad? I'm on the bad side. I think the standards are too high. Grandma, when she was looking for a husband, she wanted a man that could provide for her and take care of her. She wanted a man that treated her well. She didn't have a lot of standards, expectations. Whereas a lot of women want, he's got to be 6'5", he has to be thin, brown skin, has a tech job, smooth skin, hands and feet. And you are these high standards, you standarding yourself out, expectation yourself out of a marriage, out of a long-term relationship. And I know people are going to say, well, I know what I want, and this is what I want, and this is what I expect. Yes, everybody, but you have to understand, I think a lot of the expectations, a lot of the standards are not biblically sound, and they do not stem from your purpose. If you truly understand your purpose as a wife, you would not have such high standards. Uh, you can get mad. It's just facts. You're standarding yourself out, expectation yourself out of a long-term relationship. Nothing is going to be perfect. No one is perfect. And you also have to realize that you're not marrying yourself. You're marrying this person who is different from you, who is not going to think like you, who is not going to live like you, who has a different purpose. Men's purpose is not the same as women's purpose. Once you understand that you're not going to marry yourself and that there are going to be some down days, there are going to be some days that are not perfect, but that's okay. That is okay. Nothing's perfect. Stop looking at Bridgerton and Instagram thinking that that's what your life, your love life, your marriage is supposed to look like. Reality is that you're going to have more good days than bad days. Those bad days, they're okay as long as you don't have too many. I think we have gotten lost and caught up in expectations and standards. And it has taken ourselves out of this marriage. And it's funny because my youngest is in love right now with Michael Jackson. She plays Michael Jackson all the time when we're in the car. She sits with her father and they watch a lot of his live concerts, a lot of his videos. One of her favorite videos is in songs of Michael Jackson. Can y'all guess what it is? Man in the Mirror. And when I think about long-term relationships and the men and women who are looking for relationships, and a lot of these content creators, they always want to blame men, blame the women. Women want to blame the men. Let's stop blaming each other and start looking at the man in the mirror and improving ourselves, preparing ourselves for marriage. Because guess what? We can't control the man. The man can't control the woman, but what we can control is ourselves. If we focus on improving who we are, improving being a wife, preparing ourselves for being a wife, how can you fail? How can you? Because everyone is focused on and making themselves better instead of pointing the finger and saying, you need to do this and you need to do that. Focus on ourselves. Valentine's Day, self-love, focus on you. Write down 3 things that you can do to be a better wife, a better girlfriend, a better fiance. Write down 3 things that you can do to be a better husband, to be a better boyfriend, to be a better fiance. Instead of pointing the finger, well, she doesn't do this and she's not giving me, loving every day. What's the man in the mirror saying? I want nothing but the best for y'all. I want y'all to feel the love. I think the love is lost. Y'all need to find it. So much so. I I just was like on cloud nine all this week because I was jamming to this. And I will use the word jamming. Yes. I was rocking to this playlist of mine of love songs. And I'm like, no, where are the R&B songs? Where are the R&B groups? Where are the R&B artists? I can't find them. They lost. So I put together my playlist for y'all. Tomorrow I'm going to share with y'all my R&B lost and found playlist that I need y'all to check out. I mean, even so, look, I got my cassette tape earrings on tonight. I want y'all to find the love again. This Valentine's Day, find the love. Find the love for the opposite sex. Find the love for men. Find the love for women. Focus on what you can control. This Valentine's Day, make it about you and improving yourself and preparing yourself. And if you're married, you can still make improvements to become and have a better marriage, become a better husband, become a better wife. Again, tomorrow, I'm going to share with y'all my playlist that I am just in love with. And I'm adding new tracks to that playlist every day. I be in the car just at work. They probably think I'm crazy at work. But thank y'all for joining me. Happy Valentine's Day. And again, man in the mirror, I love y'all. I will see y'all next week.